Hello everyone, so today I will talk about the author profile. I will briefly discuss about the historical and biographical background about him, and also his major works, his impact to children's literature, as well as I will insert my personal opinions about the author. And then today would like to talk to the audience like I want to talk to my students. So this is kind of like the brief introductions of the author to the students. Okay, so I will start right now. Okay, so hello students. As you can see in the screen, have you ever heard about the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Or have you ever heard the movie called Matilda? Hmm, maybe some of you have ever heard it, but maybe some of you are like asking, what are they, miss? I don't even know them. So, when I mentioned about the movie, but when you see in my screen, it's just a pictures of the book cover. So actually, which one is the first one? Is it the book versions or the movie verse? So, the truth is, fun fact, the book is being adapted to the movie. So it means the book comes first and then someone make it as to the movie. But before we will read about this book, we need to know who writes the book first. Why do we need to discuss about the writer, the author of the book, the one who writes the book? Because we want to know about his unique writing styles. So if you like his writings, you can also keep continue to search for him, to search about his works. So today we will discuss about Roald Dahl. So in here, Roald Dahl is a famous writer, famous author, and then he's also being said as one of the world's best loved British writers. So why people call him British writers? Maybe he was born in British, or maybe he died in British. We don't know, right? So let's find out. Before we read the book, we need to know a little bit of the biographical information about the author because we want to know the author personally, okay? So, Ms. NC will start with the biographical information in here. So, it turns out that in 1916, Roald Dahl was born in Wales, in somewhere in the other part of the earth in 1916. And then during his life, he served as the military in 1936. And unfortunately, in 1940, his airplane crashes in the Libyan desert. And then I think after the crash of the airplane, somebody, I think his coworker, encouraged him to start his first piece of the writings. So starting in 1942, Roald Dahl starts to write. And then after that, the first book that is successfully being launched and then people also like it is called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Maybe you know this one from the movie, but actually it's from the book. It is published in 1964. Wow, long time ago, right? And then we can also see also the last book, the last work that he published, it's called Matilda in 1988. But when you see the chart in here, it keeps continuing. After 1990, he died in 1990 in Oxford in England, right, in British. So maybe he spent his life, most of his life in England, in British. But you can see in 2006 and 2016, people still celebrating his birthday, his day. Why? Maybe he's popular? I think maybe it's because people like his work. People like his writings. Sorry. So let's dive in about his writing. What are major works that Roald Dahl have? So the three of the most famous works that he had is are Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The Witches, and also Matilda, as I already mentioned, right? Most of his work are being adapted to the movie, so people not only enjoying in reading, but also people can see the visual, the real people there, and also like to play the role in the book based on the story. So let's see, because we know that Roald Dahl still being like people still celebrate his day, right? Even after he died. So what makes him really important? What is the impact? So that's why people really likes his book. So after from this part, do you like about Roald Dahl? For Miss Nancy personally, because Miss Nancy knows that because Miss Nancy read a lot of his book, right? And then Miss Nancy know that he wrote fantasy books. What does it mean by fantasy books? Fantasy books mean that there is a lot of imaginations, a lot of weird imaginations. He had a wild and wonderful imaginations, just like a big dreamer. So as you can see in here, uh, the style that he uses in here, there's more like humor or maybe silliness, right? When you read about the story and then suddenly you're like giggling or laughing, maybe he wrote something silly or quirky characters. Sometimes a little weird characters can stick in your mind a little bit longer than other characters. Or also an exciting adventures because in the previous, right, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or maybe Charlie owns the chocolate factory. And then the witch, what happened to the witch? And Matilda, the book, the little girl that is really like a book genius. You want to know more, right? That's why you want to read more. And then this is the most interesting part. Roald Dahl also like to use wordplay. He likes to create really weird new vocabulary that you never heard and is also not exists in English words. Maybe someday you can also be like Roald Dahl. You can create your own wordplay or your own new vocabulary. And then this is the most interesting part. Many of his books became popular movies. Miss Nancy likes to read, but Miss Nancy also likes to watch the movies because from the movies you can see the visualizations. But in here, uh, we want to see that where did Roald Dahl get these styles? Where do those styles come from? Maybe when we discuss about the biographical informations of Roald Dahl, right? When he grew up, when he was a child, maybe he had a lot of things in his mind, right? Imagination and creativity. Maybe he likes to think something like weird, or maybe it's related to his childhood experiences. Perhaps he is a genius. He likes to read books, so that's why he wrote the story about a little girl's writing about likes to read books, right? Or maybe when he what is that little he likes to eat chocolate. That's why he wrote about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory because he liked to imagine that he has a chocolate factory, right? And then also the purpose of him writing the stories is for storytelling. So after from his mind he think of something, he also wants other people to see his mind, to enjoy his thinking. So that's why he wrote those books. And then he also wants those books to be shared to other children. And then also the last one. when we read the book, it's not only that we are like giggling or we're laughing, but we also learn something from the book. Besides the unique styles of Roald Dahl, we also can learn about life lessons and applications from his stories. Like in Matilda, about a little girl that is super genius that likes to read. Maybe the author Roald Dahl want us to read more books so we can also be diligent, we can also be smart, like Matilda. And then aside from that, there's a lot of collections from Roald Dahl. And then you can see from the book, there's like super colorful books. And then his name is super big up there, right? Roald Dahl. You can see. And then you can see the characters there are really, really weird. You can never imagine a giraffe or maybe a magic finger, right? We can also dive more into these collections after we know about Roald Dahl, right? So up until now, we know that Roald Dahl is a British writer, British author, and then he wrote a lot of unique characters, and he also creates many new vocabularies and wordplay. Moreover, his story is not only telling us about imaginations and fantasy, but also about life lessons and also the applications. I think this is the reasons why Miss NC really likes Roald Dahl collections of the books. But how about you? Maybe we can try to read some of the books inside the classroom and then we will see whether you like his writing styles or not. Maybe you say that his writing styles is interesting. That's why we need to read. Okay, thank you guys. This is the reference. Thank you.